Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of misty morning, and that is it. Nice and clean. Look at that. Really, really good, guys. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea or maybe a cup of coffee, or as I always say, maybe something harder. Depends on what part of the planet you're on, right? So today's going to be a review day. We're taking a look at an RGB lighting kit, a tube, and that's it right back there. Very, very interesting. I have actually reviewed these products in the past. It's Falcon Eyes is the company that puts them out, and they are really quite good. Now, this review is not a paid review. This is just my experience with it. I actually use a couple of their products that I bought with my own money. This one they actually sent to me for free just to test out. I appreciate that. But this is an unbiased review. So if you like it, then go and take a look at it. I'll put a link in the description as well as in the comments, and help out the channel if you would like to. It's completely up to you. But this is, as I said, an unbiased review. So let's get into it. But before I do, let me say that if you haven't downloaded my ebook as of yet, go check it out. Go over to JCristina.com/ebook, JCristina.com/ebook, 10 tips at making tack sharp images. There's something there for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a professional, a pro-am, or an amateur, you're going to get something out of that ebook, and it's free. Once again, JCristina.com/ebook. So, this is what the unit looks like when it comes to us. There you go. Hopefully there's not too much glare. You see that? The Irisa 1, I guess is how you would pronounce it. This is an RGB lighting strip. So I really like RGB lighting strips because it gives you a lot of functionality. You can throw up like RGB light like I have behind me, or we can use it for its dual lighting capacity of Kelvin, right? Dialing in Kelvin to however we want it. So there's a lot of functionality when it comes to these. It has some gimmicky things in my personal opinion, but we'll get into that also. But there's a lot in this package. So anyways, this is what the light looks like. All right, I have it on a stand. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this off real quick. I have a quick connect on this little stand. There you go. Right? Very cool. This is kind of, this is at, let me see, this is set at 5%. And that is, let me just switch it over to me. That's pretty bright at 5%. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit just so that it's not like blazing here. But anyways, that's like at 2%. So this is what it looks like. All right? That's what the unit looks like. I'll make sure my eyes are not in the camera, so it doesn't want to focus in onto me. So that's what it looks like. On this side, we can see that there's a menu. We're going to get into that just a second. And then down here, we have a quarter 20. And then on this side, we have a quarter 20 also, as well as two mini XLR inputs. That's if you want to connect this to a lighting board like a DMX, as well as a USB-C for charging. Now, the battery that's included in this is a 7.4 volt or 3,200 milliamps. So it lasts a pretty long time. Now, the length of this is about 13, 14 inches, and the tube itself is around 11 inches. So you get an idea of how big this is. As far as the weight goes, it's about 1.5 pounds when I weighed it earlier, so it's not that heavy, but it has some weight to it, and I would say the majority of the weight is the battery that's in this. Now, talking about the battery, it does take about 2 hours to charge, but it lasts for about 2 hours if you have it on full power. And if you dim it down like I have this down to like 2%, it probably lasts for, I don't even know how long, many hours, which is really good. Now, it gets very, very bright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn the brightness up here just so you can kind of see how bright it gets, because it's a little bit, so this is at 100% now. There you go. And that is, I'll just put it on me. Pretty damn bright. So it is powerful. It's definitely powerful for a little unit. And this is a small, compact unit. And that's why I like these. I'm going to show you another one that I have that I purchased by the same company that I use all the time. I'll tell you what that is for in a minute. Now, this is charged through USB-C. You can also plug it in and leave it charging while you're using it, which is kind of cool. It does run on about 13 watts. So you're going to get 13 watts of power on it. And as you can see, it's pretty bright at 13 watts. But if you need more, they have a 2-foot version of this that runs about 25 watts. And then a massive 4-foot version, I think it's like 50 watts or something like that. So But they get pricey as you get larger and larger, and you'll see that in just a second. Now, on this side of it, you'll see that there is the menu, right? Now, let me see if we can see it. Can we see it? I'm going to make sure my eyes are not in the shot. Now, as we can see going down here, we have this power button. That's that red button right here. That turns it on and off. And we also have this little CCD screen. That is what will show us all of the controls that we're setting. Even if it's in bright light, you'll be able to see this screen. Now, as we move down, you go from this power button down to a toggle. Now, this allows you to toggle your light modes, what mode there is. And I'll get into all the modes in just a second. Next to that, you can change the settings that you're currently working on with this one. Then you move on to the up and down, and that allows you to lower or raise the value that we're looking at. And that is it. There's not a lot of controls here. Very, very simple. And as we can see, this is the book that comes in there. If you call it a book, that's it. You got English, Chinese. I mean, there's not a lot to this. Okay, because it's pretty simple to use. It's not that difficult at all. So if we get into these different modes, and a lot of people like to know about the modes, mode number one is CCT. Now that's where I am normally at. CCT for me is where we do all of our color temperature, adjusting Kelvin. So if we want this light to be, instead of white, we can go right in here into this setting, and instead of setting it to, right now it's at 4300, I can go ahead and change that to, let's say, something warmer. We'll bring that all the way down to, let's say, 2500. And as we can see, it turns a lot more yellow. Or I can go the other way with it and go all the way up to 9999. Let's call it 10,000 Kelvin, and you get that bluish look to it. So I'm going to back that back down to about 4300. That's a nice kind of warm look. So CCT is normally where I'm at because I like to use these LEDs not for their RGB that we see like behind me, but more for lighting a subject. All right. So you can use them in RGB mode and be able to use it for an accent light. Absolutely. But I use it for doing warming or cooling of the subject to get the color temperature in the scene the way I want it. And like I said, it goes from 2500 all the way up to 10,000 Kelvin. Now, what I do also like is that it has that GM that we see on there. Now, I don't know if you can see it in there. Hopefully it zooms in and focuses on that. But if you can, GM basically stands for green and magenta. Now, what's really nice about that is it allows you to not only adjust Kelvin, which is your cyan and yellow, but the GM allows you to adjust green and magenta. Now, that is your tint. Now, I'm really happy that they allow you to do this because if you know it or you don't know it, there's a lot of photographers out there, videographers, that if they want to warm a scene, what they do is they'll take their yellow and they'll pull their slider up and warm it. Or if they want to cool the picture, they'll take that slider and pull it back down to cyan or blue to cool it. The problem with that is you end up with dead people on the cooling side or jaundiced people that look like they have kidney problems going to the yellow side. And they have yellow teeth and yellow, it's just a mess. You don't do that. All right, you don't do that. That was one of the reasons why I invented the PRT, the photo reference tool. So this right here is what my card looks like, just so you get an idea. This right here will balance your light, let's say, using this gray card, whereas the back side, I have my dual access color control. And how this works is exactly it. So if you're cooling an image, you're not only going to just add blues, but you're also going to add magenta or green so that you can balance that tint. And the same thing as if you're going to warm an image. That balance is what makes things look right, and you don't end up with dead people or jaundiced people, and that's what they allow you to do with this. I think that that's awesome. I don't know if anyone has told you about this or have talked about that when it comes to these, but if you find one of these tubes that allows you to do CCT, which is your Kelvin control, but doesn't allow you to change your green and magenta or your GM on here, don't get it. because you really need to be able to balance things out if you want to do stuff professionally and get things just right. Now, the next mode is mode number 2, and that basically allows you to change the scene. Now, the scene is a whole bunch of these pre-programmed things that I call novelty items, where you can get, let's say, a cop strobe light or maybe a lightning storm or something like that. I don't use any of this stuff. They do have this flickering of a candle that looks really cool. It kind of comes in and out. I like it. But do I ever use it? No. So that's more of a novelty, I would say, but some people might use it. So if you're doing, for example, a video and you have a window next to the subject, you can actually take this unit and stick it outside the window and put it on, let's say, lightning mode, and you can see the flash coming through the window. Or you could do the same thing, let's say, with an ambulance or a fire truck or a cop car or something, and get the blue and red lights. It looks like a cop pulled up to the house. So there's things that you can do with it, but like I said, it's a little bit gimmicky to me. Novelty, I don't really care for it, but it's there if you want to use it. Now, mode 3 allows you to do HSI. That is basically hue, saturation, as well as intensity. Control all that. Mode 4 allows you to do your RGB. Now, a lot of the people that want lighting like this behind them, they'll use RGB because you can dial in your red, you can dial in your green, and dial in your blue, however you want, and then of course your intensity, how powerful. Then mode number 5 gives you Lee color gels. So they call it L gel on here. And that's really great if you understand Lee and you know all of their color gels. They have pre-programmed color gels in here, so you don't have to guess. So if you want a specific color gel, put the Lee color gel that you want in there, and there it is, done. You're not having to fiddle with the RGB to get it just right. Mode 6 has the exact same thing, pre-programmed color gels, but those are Rosco color gels. So if you're familiar with Rosco, they're there also, which I think is really cool. So what do I think about this unit itself? All right, let me give you some positives, and then of course I'll give you some negatives. Now, as far as the positives go, this is probably one of the best RGB lighting setups or tubes that I've used. Like I said, I'm not getting paid to say that. It just simply is. It's very robust. It's really strong. It does have those really powerful magnets on there, which allows you to stick it to just about anything that is metal. And if you can't stick it to it, you have multiple quarter 20s to be able to put it wherever you want it. It's just pretty rugged. And the simplicity to use is very helpful, in my personal opinion. Some things, they get to be a little bit complex, or the menu system is garbage. This is really pretty straightforward, and that is also helpful. Now, the battery life, I think, is really quite good. To be able to run it for an hour and a half, 2 hours straight at 100% is a long period of time, and then charge time using USB-C, a couple of hours isn't bad, because you can really get a lot of use out of it, and especially if you want to use it at a lower power range. Let's say 10, 20%. Like I said, this is 2% right now, and it's pretty damn bright. So this will last for many, many hours at 2, 5, 10%. But you can also use it while it's charging. You can plug in your USB-C and let it just keep charging. I think you're getting a lot of value in a very small package. Now, you could use multiple of these. So you could have 2, 3, 4, 5 of these all around, and then control them individually on separate channels. That's very helpful if you want to set a scene. Also, all of the Falcon Eyes allow you to use their software to control the entire, let's say, gamut of their products. So if you have multiple units, you can control them individually right from your phone. That's really quite cool. Like I said earlier, I use some of their products already. One of the ones that I use in every single video is this one. It's a Falcon Eyes F7 Mini. It is awesome. It sits at the top of this secondary camera over here, which is the Canon 80D, and it just lights me a little bit from the side. And this works out fantastic. And of course, it has the magnets on the back. Everything that this big one does, this does, but it's just smaller, less watts, right? So it is not bad. Also, I think that this is great for, let's say, lighting a portrait. lighting a product shot, lighting videos, basically anywhere that you need to put some light into a scene. But I don't feel that it's powerful enough to be a main light, not in this configuration. And that's going into some of the negatives. Now, yes, it is powerful, and when you look at it on screen, it looks powerful, but the thing is, we need to diffuse light because we know that LEDs are just highly directional, very strong, very bright, and they don't make a, let's say, a flattering look to them. They need to be highly diffused. And as you diffuse this at 13 watts, you really end up with not enough light. So, for me, accent light, absolutely. Main light, I don't think this is strong enough. Now, the 2-foot version of this at like 25 watts or a 4-foot long at 50 watts, yes, you can probably use it as a main light because you can diffuse it and not have to worry about the amount of diffusing that you use because there's enough power behind it. So that's one of the negatives. Now, another thing that I would like to see, and I hate to say it's a negative, but it's something that I think that they should include. When I received this, the F7 Mini, that I bought for, like I said, as a secondary little light on top of this camera, it came with this little softbox. It's like a little gel that goes over it, and it also came with a grid. Now, I use the grid on this all the time. Why? Well, if you know anything about using grids, it allows you to direct the light exactly where you want it and lose all of the spill, okay? So what happens with this is when you're shining it, the spill that's coming out of the sides really gets all over things. If you were able to get a grid, let's say clamped onto here, and now direct it exactly where you want it to go, I think it would be better. Or have some type of softbox that can go over here, maybe like a glove or a skin or something to make it even softer. I think that would be pretty cool. Also, as like I said, it comes with this smaller package, but not with this one. So that's something that I would suggest, let's say, whereas it's not really a negative, but it's still a suggestion. I think that that could be included. Also, the price. Now, the price varies in, I guess, to who you are and how much money you want to spend on a light. This light is about 150 bucks, 149, somewhere right on there. It's not cheap. You get a lot out of it, but it's not cheap. So the price could be a problem for some. I do think it's a good value, but once again, 150 bucks. Now, if you want something a little bit smaller, I would probably suggest one of these Falcon Eyes F7 Minis. These things do the trick. They do everything. All the functionality in here is in here. All those little scenes, the gimmicky stuff, the Calvin, the everything. It's all in here as well, which I think is awesome, and it is a lot cheaper. Now, I did an entire review on this when I bought this, like, I think it was about a year or two ago. I don't know, a while back. I actually bought like 2 of them, and I think they sent me one. So I have a multitude of these. And what's really cool is having multiple of these. You can put these all into your phone and then control them with their app. So I could have this behind me, I could have this on a secondary, I can have 2 more of these over here and whatnot. And then later on, from my phone, just simply dial in what the Calvin is, what the strength is, what each one is doing, and all of this stuff. So that is really, really helpful. And I think that if you're using any of the Falcon Eyes product, I would almost encourage everyone to download the app because you get added functionality for doing so. So it just simply makes sense. So for me, if you're looking for something more affordable, like I said, this works out. I'm not sure what the price is currently, but it's probably like 50 bucks or something. Check it out. Anyways, I personally think that this product line is quite good. It's probably one of the best that I've seen so far. I will continue to do reviews on other products, and if I see something better, I'll tell you about it. But as of right now, I think it is a good product. Once again, this is mine and a bunch of others in here that I already use. If you want to take a look at this product, see if it's something that you like or go through the specs all over again, I'll put my Amazon link down below in the comment area as well as the description. If you want to help out the channel, you can use that link. If not, you can go and search that name up somewhere on the interwebs and you'll be able to find it also, whatever you wish to do. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing this review. I think that, once again, it is a good product. And even though it's not perfect for everyone, it is really, really good for a lot of people. And having a multitude of versions to go with makes it a really, really good idea. And being able to, once again, put them all together and have them all communicate together on different channels, let's say, that adds to the value. So anyways, once again, thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, please give this video a thumbs up. It will help with the rankings and the YouTube gods to look kindly on the channel as well as this video. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel as of yet, subscribe and then click this little bell icon over here. When you do, you'll be notified of any videos that I create or if I go live. Also, if you want to contribute to the channel monetarily, or if you want to join, either which way, you can click this little join button over here. Give the channel $1 or $2 a month. I can give you perks for doing so. It's a win-win. It would be awesome if you did. Or if you just want to send me a couple of bucks, maybe you buy me a cup of tea or something. People have been asking me for this. They don't want to give any money to YouTube. They just want to send me a couple of bucks. So I created JC Tip Jar. I'll put that right around here. jctipjar@gmail.com. That's the PayPal where you can send a couple of bucks if you so desire. You don't have to. All of this information is free, as it always is. Also, my book is coming out any day. Any day. Watch for it. I have my first batch. It's going to be arriving, probably today. Shh, don't tell anybody. Today. It is going to be awesome. It's going to help a lot of people worldwide. I am excited about it. It's basically how to create your own digital Fort Knox, backing up your digital life. Really simple, easy to do, and I do a step-by-step, soup to nuts, beginning to end. All right? I am really super excited to show this to you. I've been working on it for months, and it's finally done. Anyways, guys, let me end by saying that when we're done talking down here in the comment area, head over to community.jcristina.com. Once again, community.jcristina.com, where you can find a lot of people that hang out, photo, tech, video, doesn't matter. There's hundreds and hundreds of people there that are all sharing their knowledge. So check that out. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That would be awesome. That's it, guys. I'm out of here. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.